Welcome to episode 3 of The Cycle. It is Monday, August 2nd, 2021. I'm Brandon Bordeaux from Baby Blue Memories, alongside Greg Horn and Brady Cross of Your Diwuze. Welcome to the podcast, gentlemen. Episode number 3, we're going to be looking at a bunch of scores and future fixtures in the baseball world. Plus, speaking of fixtures, I always associated that term with European soccer or football. There we go. That's how we say European football. And a couple of girls teams from Kahnawake participating in soccer, including a big win for our U17 girls this past week. Let's get it started with the lineup. And first, we're going to look at U9s tonight. Yellow and blue, 6 p.m. That starts at Maddie's Park. Tomorrow, the red team taking on the yellow team. Yellow and blue, a showdown for first place in the league standings. That's happening tonight at 6 p.m. And coming up later on during the show, we're going to take a look at 2019 President's Cup's memories, as this time 2 years ago, 730 days ago, really seems like it's been a heck of a lot longer. We're going to go through that rundown with Greg, who was right there for the President's Cup and also for the 2013 President's Cup for that matter. So we'll take a look at a little more in depth as to some of the memories that were generated during the 2019 tournament. U9 girls red, aka the Pink Hawks, a narrow 13-12 road loss against the Kahnawake Cubs this past weekend. They are at St. Lambert next Sunday, which is August 8th, and then a rematch at home at Maddie's 6 o'clock when they take on the Kahnawake Fuchsia Cubs. Still looking for their first win of the year. Gagnet the Gerdu Gilbert's purple team, the U9 girls, 17-12 winners against that Fuchsia Cubs team. They get back to 500. They're 6-6. They're off this weekend. The hottest team in Kahnawake right now is the U11B Warhawks. 7th straight win, including a home run which left the field courtesy of Tate and Nolan, the hottest team in town. Now 8-2 in the league standings following an 11-4 win over Pierrefonds. They are actually against the Pierrefonds Red Sox. That'll be taking place Wednesday night. And then Friday, they're back home for a 6 o'clock start against the Lachine A's. Then they'll be taking on the DDO Dodgers August 7th. They're in a three-way battle for first place right now. Actually, in the loss column, tied for second with the DDO Royals, who beat them earlier this season by a score of 6-1. One team running rapid and running wild with that league is the 13-0-1 St. Laurent Noir Crush, but they beat the Warhawks barely at the beginning of the year by a final score of 7-6. And the Warhawks since have added two players in Nolan and Ryder McCumber who have really stepped up and been huge contributors to that team. So the U11Bs now have won 7 straight. They are 8-2, tied for second in the league standings. U11A's lost by a score of 13-10 against Surwa Blue, but the game before that, they came back to win in spectacular fashion. Down 10-3, they come back and throw out Ruwadizayani Daibo, who comes in, pitches 3 innings, gives up 1 run, and then goes 3 for 3 at the plate. And the Warhawks come back from being down 7 to win 12-11 at home over the Gris Voltigeurs. They got 3 games this upcoming 7 days. Thursday, they will be at home. They'll take on the Presqu'île Pirates. Friday, on the road against the Surwa Voltigeurs red team. And then Monday, on the road against the so far winless Lachine A's. The game time for all 3 of those starts 6:30. U13s have now won 4 straight games. This past week, Monday to be exact, a 15-7 win over the West Island Expos. Cade Stacy hitting for the cycle. How about that? A first time I've ever seen a cycle hit at that level. And the Warhawks hit 5 home runs in that game, including back-to-back-to-back home runs. So the Warhawks looking very good in that game. Jada Norton hitting a home run, as well as Cade Stacy, who hit a home run. And in that game as well, 2 home runs hit by Jordan Norton. He, Cade, and Jada went back to back to back in that second inning, or the third inning, in which the Warhawks poured it on. The Expos made it a 3-run game, but then 5 runs in the open inning put that game out of reach. So the Warhawks 15-7 win. They've actually pulled up to the number 4 spot in the league standings after being 3-4. They have now won 4 straight, 7-4-2. They're back in action tonight over at the Hospital Ball Field, 7 o'clock start against the DDO Braves. That's a team that's neck and neck with them right now in the league standings. So the Warhawks hoping to get to number 5. The drive for 5 again starts 7 p.m. first pitch. Hospital Ball Field, Warhawks taking on the DDO Braves. U15s in action this past weekend. A couple of losses, falling 14-6 on Saturday to Presskill. They are 0-4 in the league standing since joining the A division. And it looks like they're going to be staying up for the good majority of the season, or the rest of the season. But there's a possibility of them playing regionals at the B level. They're at the Surwa Red team, which features Kahnawake Ronu, Dahamea Nolan. He's on the Red Surwa Voltigeurs. That game will be Wednesday at Park Franco. That's right next to Harmony School, the elementary school, and that'll be a 7 o'clock start. They host Lakeshore on Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then they'll be back at Lachine against the A's on Monday. So they will be at Lachine on Monday night at the same time as the U11As will be in Lachine Monday night as well. U18s, how about this? A 13-8 win at Pierrefonds for their first win at the A level. They were up 13-5 in this game and really looked like a team that more than just belonged at the A level. They looked like they could compete at the A level. They did drop a 17-6 home game against the St. Laurent Crush this past weekend, so they're 1-3 in league standings since being promoted to the A division. They'll be back in action this upcoming, or actually tonight. They got a 7:15 start at Park Alexander against the Lakeshore Blues, and then Saturday they're back at home, 1 o'clock start against the Valleyfield Reds. So we got 2 venues at the sports complex this weekend, or in Kahnawake, which will play host to doubleheaders. This U15, U18s, of course, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. this upcoming Saturday, which is August 7th. And also Saturday, August 7th, back-to-back games at home for the U16s. For the U11 girls, they got the Presskill Pirates, 10:30 and 1 o'clock. They're at home at Maddie's Park. They play the 2-6-1 Pirates. The Girl Hawks in that division, 4-3-1. They currently lead the division, the Lac St. Louis division. They're playing host to the team, which is second in Presskill, the Pirates, this Saturday. Back-to-back games, 10:30 and 1 p.m. U16 girls lost 15-11 to the Pierrefonds Cardinals. And then the second half of that doubleheader dropped an 11-8 to decision. They had 2 call-ups, however, in the lineup. They've dropped to 3-7. They will be at Laval against the Black Tornado this Sunday, 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. And we will take a look now at some others who are participating. Other Kahnawake Nonu in other leagues, of course, could be playing at the A level in the division where we don't have, which is exactly the case for the U13s, the Voltigeurs Red, featuring Tyson Collier and Callan Stacy. They are 2-9-2. They just dropped an 11-6 decision. They will be playing host to Soulange on Thursday. That's at Parc Léger. Also on the road tomorrow night against that same St. Lazare Mustangs team. That'll be a 7 o'clock start, 2-9-2. I mentioned on the season. Collier actually leading that Voltigeurs team in innings pitched. He's pitched 20. He's just pitched a shade over 20 innings for the Voltigeurs team this year. So definitely a key component to their success. Jackson McCumber and Royce White currently playing for the Voltigeurs Red at the U11A level. 10 wins, 4 losses on the season, following a 12-10 win over Presskill, 14-4 win over Surwa Gris. So they have won 6 of their last 7 games and they will play host to Kahnawake this upcoming Saturday. That's August 7th and a 10:30 a.m. start. Warhawks won the only head-to-head meeting between the two teams this year. That was a 13-9 decision. And now it's time to go around and hit for the cycle. Let's do it. First base, U15s and U18s. So that's our single. Promoted to the A-League, and the U17 girls blanking Ormstown in girls soccer by a score of 3-0. Mia Malush, 2 goals. Leah Mator had a single as the U17 girls got a strong foothold on second place in that league. They're competing with Mercier, Chateauguay, Ormstown, and they are in action tonight against third place Chateauguay at 7 o'clock over at the Sports Complex Field. So no shortage of things to do this upcoming week. We're in the midst of what would be lacrosse season, minor lacrosse basically going to provincials, playoffs, finals. Usually the QSL finals would be happening by this point, at least the playoffs. And then, of course, we'd be looking at lacrosse, maybe Founders Cup, the OLA Junior A and Junior Bs getting down to the wire. So we'd be having this, plus baseball regionals, plus soccer, plus a whole lot. And even in the absence of lacrosse, or at least lacrosse here, there's plenty to do. Got to give a shout out to Cayman Daibo, too, who scored his first goal at the OLA Junior A level, playing for Orangeville along with Trey Deer. Happened to see that little clip of Trey getting into a fight with someone from I think it was Whitby.
Yeah, it was Whitby, and I got a phone call from Andrew Suter saying, "Hey, you got to check this out." And he was upset that the player from Whitby went after Trey Deer. Of course, Andrew Suter plays for the Kahnawake Mohawks, or has played for the Kahnawake Mohawks. The last time we had we were able to have a season, and he's also a junior Northman alumni, so he really takes care of of players from that team, and he was really upset by what happened to Trey, but he was also really excited to see some youth lacrosse players from Kahnawake playing for his hometown team.
And also really happy to see Trey stand up for himself. Suits is no stranger to some of the tussle.
Oh yeah, for sure. If people who don't know who Andrew Suter is, he's a National Lacrosse League lacrosse player, and he's one of the tough guys in the league, and and he's known to drop the gloves when needed.
Yes, definitely. I think the first time I seen him fight at the senior B level, at least where the Mohawks, was against the Muskies. I think it was Messina. Messina.
Yeah, it was in Messina, and we shared a video of that.
Yeah, actually a very good tilt, by the way. Very entertaining tilt.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And then at the 2019 President's Cup in our game against Halifax.
Yeah, the Mooseheads. The Nova Scotia All-Stars. We'll just call them the Atlantic Schooners for now.
Yeah. During that game, one of their players was taking liberties with a bunch of our players, and Suits went near him, and the guy said, "Well, okay, let's tussle." And
want to dance?
Yeah, and Suits, not one to back down, went right after him, and it was probably one of the most entertaining lacrosse fights that anybody's seen in a while.
Yeah, the one that would always come to mind to me was 2009 when Logan Kane fought Chucky.
Oh yeah,
that was a really good tilt. It just seemed like both. It was youth against the veteran, the rookie, the senior A rookie or senior B rookie against the veteran, and neither was giving an inch.
Oh yeah, and that was also a really good tilt.
Yes, it was a very entertaining tilt. We got to get back to the cycle though, because we're going to be stuck on these tilts all day. As mentioned, singles going to the U15s and U18s for being promoted to A. U17 girls soccer also getting a single for a 3-0 win over Ormstown. How about the double, the U13s? Jada Norton, Jordan Norton, Cade Stacy, back-to-back home runs to put a game out of reach. Cade also hit for a cycle in that game. Jordan also hit 2 home runs in that game. No shortage of highlights from that one. And the triple would have to go to the U11Bs, who have now won 7 straight games. 7 in a row. They've gone from a 1-2 start to 8-2, tied for second in the loss column, but they do control their own destiny because of the amount of games in hand they have on second place DDO, who are the DDO Royals. And they have a 1-run loss this year against the team that's 13-0-1. That's the Saint Laurent Noir Crush. But the Warhawks had a 2-run lead going into the open inning of that game. So clearly they're competitive, and they've added 2 players since then who can really make a difference for their team. And lastly, the home run. How in the world can you go against this 10-3 game? Warhawks losing, U11A's losing. And then they go on an unbelievable 9-1 run to finish the game and win 12-11. And the bases were loaded with 0 outs and the game tied, and the Warhawks batting. And then strikeout. So you're down to 2 outs, bases loaded, game tied, final inning.
Wow.
That's something we always dream about, right? That's maybe in the World Series.
Yeah.
And the base is loaded, and Ruwahaji Jacobs comes up with the clutch hit, drilling one into center field, and the Warhawks celebrate with a 12-11 win there. Also taking place tonight, forgot to mention Daha Mayo Nolan's red team, the Red Voltigeurs, playing at 7 tonight at my favorite park, Parkley. Said, I love that's in, it's kind of like the middle of nowhere, but right in between St. Lazare and the 20.
Okay.
So it pretty much is in the middle of nowhere. I love it though. It's a great field to be at, and in center field you have a fire station with the truck sometimes outside. You'll see the truck outside every once in a while. One of the more entertaining things you'll see. And that is going to do it for this. Coming up, we're going to do a little stretch, 7th inning stretch. And Greg, we were talking about this a little bit off air. Memory came up on my Facebook because everything's associated with that nowadays, right? But on this day back 4 years ago, or at least this past weekend, it was the 4-year anniversary of the 2017 QSLL Finals, which the Mohawks played against the Capital Region Axemen. So 3 games. All 3 were really entertaining games, though. And the Mohawks, by that, punched the ticket into the 2017 President's Cup, a tournament which you guys came in 5th. But 2 years ago, around this month, actually during this month, it must have been the absolute most hectic month you can imagine as you were getting ready to host the 2019 tournament.
Yeah, the 2019 tournament was the 2019 President's Cup was quite the experience. Thinking back to right around now, we might have just got the schedule finalized and approved, and that was probably the biggest challenge of hosting the tournament last time.
Yeah,
is because the format for the tournament changed slightly, in that it had to be a full round robin, no matter how many teams were present. And following the CLA's semi-annual meeting in June, I think 10 provinces or 10 leagues had said that they were going to be sending representatives. So that means we have to find 10 schedule 10 games, for all the teams, and it was becoming a logistical nightmare because everybody has to play everybody, but you only have a week to get the tournament done.
Yeah.
So we started looking at second venues in the area to maybe host a game or 2 a day. But again, at that, if anybody familiar with the President's Cup, it's held at the end of August, when in Quebec, traditionally, hockey starts, hockey tryouts and practices resume, or the arenas are preparing for hockey to start. So there's not many arenas that are available for lacrosse at that time.
Yeah, I can remember 2017, like the last time I remember having seen 9 teams in a tournament having to play a full round robin. You remember that's the year that Saskatoon came down, and of course there was a team from Nova Scotia that was in there, in addition to the Can-Am, like the traditional teams, BC, Alberta, Quebec, The First Nation, well, whatever it is now, the ILA, they like to refer to it as.
ILA and Can-Am, so there's two different ones, but they're the same provincial organization.
Yeah, I would always look at the Can-Am. The Can-Am would always have like their own team.
Yeah.
And then the First Nations would be the Muskies, the Braves, the Indians, maybe Tyendinaga a couple of years.
In 2016, Tyendinaga was the rep.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys had a great game there that year. I think you guys beat them 10-9. It was a really, really close game. And then you were in the same pool with the Native Sons that year.
Oh yeah, that was
Sons.
That was a really fun tournament.
Langley too. Langley Warriors.
Yeah, that was a really fun tournament that year, and it was something that's I think every time a team makes the President's Cup, it's something special.
Yeah.
But when you have a team that that can do very well, it's even that much more special. And then when you're hosting it as well, to be able to showcase to the community what the lacrosse talent is that we have.
Yeah, because that year, 2019, I should say, the last time we had a tournament started off very well. You guys beat Snake Island, the Muskies, who were the ILA reps. Beat them by 8 or 9, I think it was. I'm not quite sure how much it was, but if memory serves out, it was something like 16-7 or 17-8.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you played against the Nova Scotia team the next game. Again, handled your business. I think it got a little chippy. You mentioned with the Andrew Suter getting into a fight. It got a little chippy at the end. I think you might have hung on to win like a high scoring game.
Yeah, it was like 19 to 12 or something in that area.
Really entertaining. And then the third game comes around. I believe you end up playing not the Bucks. You played Six Nations.
No, in our third game on the Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday. Wednesday was a Riverman.
Yeah, on the Tuesday we played Ottawa.
Yeah, the Axemen. Yeah, that was that night.
Yeah, that was the night where Angus went down.
It was that night. Yeah. And I can remember that game because it just felt like if you overcame that, you can overcome anything. Because you remember you were up 3-0 to start. They scored those last 2 goals of the period, 3-2 at the end of the first, and we're literally just about to go off air to go to commercial at the radio station. And I'm like, you know what? Let's stick around here. Something's going on. And I remember thinking, like, I wish I could go back in time because I said Angus's name on air, but I didn't intend to scare people, but I thought he just went down with like cramping.
Yeah,
cramping in his leg.
And I think that was what a lot of people had thought. That he tripped or he went down, he was cramping or heat exhaustion or whatever. But not realizing that it was as serious as it was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I could just remember you can hear a pin drop in that arena the whole time, and I know some cameras are rolling. If anyone ever has footage of that, do not show me.
Yeah,
do not show any of us because we can all remember what we were thinking about. And then Wednesday, I think you guys might have had like a little bit of that emotional hangover because when you go through something like that, a real roller coaster. Remember, the Axemen actually took like a 5-3 or a 6-3 lead on you guys. You come back and you win the game. Everyone's jubilant. 55 is on everybody's status. And then you're playing against the Rivermen, bunch of guys who really know how to play. And like after the first period, really, it was like there's nothing left on us.
Yeah, because I mean, the guys went through a very emotional thing the night before, and seeing one of their best friends and teammate go down, coming back and winning for him, and then you're on emotional high, and then what goes up must come down, and then the next day was a bit of a difficult game, and then it took a few days to work things out and move forward, right? And it was in the room it was very it was a very emotional week,
Absolutely.
To say the least. And then tying against the Bucks, and then
the Ladner game too was really difficult.
Yeah, and that was a game that we thought we had in the bag, and then it kind of just got away from us a little bit, and then then at the end of I think that week was filled with emotional ups and downs, because then for the final game of the round robin, we're playing
The Miners.
the St. Albert Miners, who we lost in a very good game in the 2016 gold medal game, and then played them again in 2017 in Six Nations.
Dropped that game to them,
and that was the format of that tournament. We were in a must-win scenario, and we had to win. We had to win that morning, then we had to win against them that night.
Yeah, you had the back-to-back.
Yeah, against Nova Scotia, and then against them, and then the stage was set, but we had to beat them by 11 or something to win the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So it was a very emotional thing, and getting to them and then saying, okay, all right, this is a game that we want to win and we need to win. We're not out of medal contention at this point. There was still a bunch of different scenarios that could have put us into the gold medal game.
Yeah.
Of course, we had to win. And then we needed, looking at how things were shaping up. Six Nations needed to beat
the
Bucks. But Six Nations decided to rest some of their top players, and and the Bucks came out strong, and right before our game started, they won, and I was like, all right, that's it. We're not going to the gold medal game, but we still have a chance to finish very strong here. Let's get out and play the game that we know we can play, and we're going against the Miners, and we know they're a very, very tough team and very accomplished.
Don't forget,
team.
they got eliminated too from the gold medal game because the Bucks won.
Yeah.
The Bucks win, knocked you out, knocked them out, knocked Ottawa out.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So and then we get there, and then now it's we're losing
by 3 goals.
By 3 goals going into the third. And guys were hurt, and it's just very rough. And then we're going down to the last minute.
I think you scored a power play goal with like a minute and change left to make it a 1-goal game.
Yeah, to make it a 1-goal game. Then there's 1 possession left.
Yeah. They have the ball. They call timeout.
Yeah.
They call timeout in their own zone. There's like 20 seconds left. I know the shot clock is no longer a factor.
Yeah, so Bats draws up a play and puts out Mark Steenhouse, Rooster,
Rouet,
Rouet, Hunter Hemlock, Ryan Hotaling.
Yeah.
Creates this play, and it's a pressure play. With some of our fast guys, playing back, covering, the net's empty, and then you have Rooster right out in front, making a pressure, putting out pressure, and then they all they had to do was hold the ball.
Yeah, really, that's what
all they had to do was hold the ball. They throw the ball down, and then
someone picks it up.
Hotaling picks it up and passes it up, gets it to Hunter.
Yeah.
Hunter sprints up the floor. As the clock is dying out, he gets a last second shot off. And it's a good shot, but shooting against Aaron Bold.
Yeah.
One of the best goaltenders in the National Lacrosse League, and he makes the save. And right at the doorstep is Mark Steenhouse.
Yeah.
He picks up the ball and nets it with 0.4 seconds left.
In one motion.
And to tie the game, to send it to overtime. That was just something else. And then no, actually that was to win the game. That was
to tie it. You guys are down 9-8, but there was no overtime. I don't think.
Okay, there was no overtime, and that gave us the tie. That gave us the point that to eliminate Ottawa, but it also it meant that we would be playing the Miners again the next day for the bronze medal.
Their equipment manager was actually right next to me, and as soon as the ball went, the Axeman manager was right next to me. As soon as that goal went in, he realized, yeah, we have the same amount of points as the Mohawks, but the Mohawks have the head-to-head. So he's like, Oh, so we're not playing tomorrow.
Yeah. And then at that point too, the miners were trying to get the goal overturned
I
because
remember that too.
they wanted to get it overturned, not because they didn't want to play us again, because they wanted to play Ottawa and beat them in the bronze medal game.
Yeah, because the Ottawa beat them in the round robin, so I
Yeah.
think revenge might have been like
That was exactly what they wanted to do. I spoke with some of their players afterwards, and and it was just one of those things that going looking back at it, it's a good memory, and even though we didn't win the gold medal and get the President's Cup in Kahnawake for the first time,
Yeah.
winning that bronze medal by defeating the Miners the next day, it was, to me, that was it was as if we won.
It was like the most satisfying bronze medal. I think it was the happiest bronze medal I've ever, because I remember when you guys beat Tri City in 08 for bronze. You won another bronze medal too in
08.
Yeah, in 08. That was the Sherwood Park.
Yeah.
That was the Sherwood Park year. Then you go to the bronze medal game in 2011. You lose. In 2010, you won a bronze in BC. It felt like this was like that one time, they say you lose silver, but you win bronze. I never felt that. I always felt like there was just like, okay, we got a medal, whatever. But then in 2019, you guys win bronze, and it's like legitimately like a great feeling.
Yeah,
Legitimately.
because I mean, it was a very emotional week. There was a lot of things happen. It's a long tournament, and a very short period of time, and there's a lot of games. It's half of a season's worth of lacrosse in 1 week, and there's a lot of players that were banged up, and Angus was in the hospital recovering, and and to win the bronze, it did really feel like gold.
Just a little note for you. Please take into consideration, like, everybody in a round robin, like a full round robin, gets to play against each other, but it eliminates the semifinal.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I was trying to fight against, because in 2013 we also had to have a full round robin.
Yep.
But there was
a semi.
Yeah, and that was because there was less teams and it was easier to schedule.
Yeah.
And we've as the tournament organizers, we felt that we needed to have a semifinal because there was something, it gives everybody a chance to have something. Okay, we need to be in top four at the end of the week, and then we're gonna get into the semifinal, and then win and we're in, instead of just being the top two teams going forward. And I think that format is horrible.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And we had tried, and that was one of the things that we were arguing with the CLA for, was to get a semifinal.
Yeah.
And we were looking at different ways, and then when the Saskatchewan team dropped out, said, okay, great, this makes it a little bit easier, and we can do a semifinal. They're like, and they told me, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, that any schedule that included a semifinal that year would not be approved.
Which is really disappointing, because in 2018 there was a semifinal with the same amount of teams playing a full round robin.
Yeah. So and that was there was changes that were made. Every year they try to tweak things a little bit during the semi-annual meeting and annual meeting. And that was one of the things, because in 2013, the first time that I was a part of the host committee, there was a guide that said, okay, if there's this many teams, this is the format, and this is the playoffs. These are tie-breaking rules. And if this happens, then all this. But by 2019, it was okay. It's a full round robin, and that's it.
Yeah, just remarkable. Hopefully, in 2022, we can complain about this in real life. Two people in the President's Cup at their faces, in their presence, because that'll mean we're there.
Yeah, and it's going to be again in St. Albert. They've been awarded the next President's Cup for the last 2 seasons, just because and they've been planning very very diligently, and then the pandemic put the brakes on everything, and talking with their GM Jordan Cornfield, he's very eager to show the lacrosse world what kind of tournament they can put on. I mean, because whenever Kahnawake hosts the President's Cup, we set the bar high for the next host.
Yeah, and 2016 was a great tournament. I thought they did a really good job. It was well run, well organized. They had their volunteers in line. They had guys literally in the penalty box just to open the doors and close them. So I thought they did a really good job there. 2016, 2018, 2019 were all great tournaments to be a part of and to be there and to watch it. So hopefully 2022 we could do the same. I hope you've all stretched out back at home. That was a real good stretch, bringing back some memories from yesteryear. It almost seems like at this point. It was only 2 years ago. Less than 2 years ago, this tournament was happening.
Yeah, and that was the last time that we had any competitive lacrosse in the community.
Yeah.
So and that's something that we're eager to get back to. We're anxious, and hopefully we get to that full lacrosse seasons next year.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that we're hoping for. If you don't have any plans tonight, I'll make some plans for you. Head on down to the hospital ball field. U13Bs are in action at 7:00. Head on over to Maddie's Park. It's blue against yellow tonight at 6 p.m. Or if you feel like going for a little hike or a little drive, head on down to Park Alexander in Point Claire. 7:15 start. Our U18s in action, taking on Lakeshore Blue. We've appreciated the time that you've taken to listen to us, and we're hoping that you'll be back for episode number 4 of the cycle. This, of course, a joint project, Baby Blue Memories, alongside your D was a Greg. Pleasure. It's been a pleasure. It's great to be here live. Hoping to see you again in a couple of weeks. And Danielle Algor for joining us. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Anna.